Papa Staskiel is the greatest commissioner of all time.
The greatest commissioner.
Oh, easily the greatest, dude. What a way to start. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, definitely the greatest commissioner of all commissioners to ever have commissioned before.
He has that sort of like natural leader personality where it's sort of like that effortless leadership where it just sort of comes naturally to him and people just gravitate to him for his personality. And also, I mean, he's got a really good sense of fairness, which I think is important in a leader. Just like that cool head, and maybe that comes from being a principal, being a teacher.
He's a father. That's why we call him Papa. That's why that name originated. But the reason that the name Papa sticks and that we all call him Papa is because he's our father. He treats the league like his children, and he treats us fairly and compassionately and sternly. He expects a lot from us, but it helps us grow and come together. And yeah, he's a real big cheerleader and energizer, and he just makes everything better.
I honestly think of him less as a commissioner and more as like one of the few remaining parental figures in my life.
Greatest commissioner, and I'll even throw out the word necessary because without him as commissioner, I don't know that there's really a league to be had. I know that this is about giving an award to somebody for their good commissioning, but it's good to the point that like I don't think anybody else could do it.
Staskiel's a wizard of fantasy football innovation, and his very greatest invention is Live Draft, the annual gathering of the league from across the country to determine the rules for the season, conduct an analog draft, and spend a weekend at play.
Like bringing together this league of human beings like that are spread out across like North America, and like as an adult it can be hard to get together, and he really advocated for like this is a time where we can like get together, have fun, build connections again with people who we've been close with, but like not living close by, it's harder to maintain those connections. So like I really see him utilizing the league as like a way to keep up relationships and connections with a close group of friends, and like having a like convincing 14 plus people to like spend their hard-earned dollars in this economy to like fly from various places in the world, including like Canada, where we've been living for the last 10 years, is truly a feat. Like it really speaks to the power of his like the love of the league in his mind, and like the like resolution that he has to like figure out the logistics with a capital L.
Just this idea of like, okay, dude, why don't we all just get together and draft live and not on your phones. No, no, we're gonna get out the old pen and paper. We're gonna get out a big old board and all these stickers and shit. And yeah, it kind of made us all become closer throughout the year because we had something. I mean, now fuck, we start planning in what like not we. He starts planning in like January for something that's going to happen in September.
I think it's also the authentic kind of draft experience, right? Like I started playing fantasy football when I was a kid, and like that was the thing. You like went over to someone's house and there was a physical draft board and you put the stickers up. Yeah, to be able to bring that back and to be able to bring us all together every year from all across the country, because we've spread all across the country, and to be able to do it in a different city every year, to be able to create that reunion for all of us, and then also to just like have that old school draft experience that's like the real legitimate fantasy football draft experience that you want, because you can all get in the chat room or like on a Zoom call or whatever, but it's not the same.
I'm greeted by a shirtless Papa as I open the door of the Airbnb to live draft, and he's just like, "Hey, let's play beer pong." And just like getting to see all my brothers and all my comrades together in like one place after several years of being unable to make it. Which, by the way, Papa personally, along with the rest of the triumvirate, helped make that happen in the first place, right? So that was really cool.
Bethel runs the draft, makes the food, gets blackout drunk, wins poker, wakes up the next day, doesn't know where he is, goes, where were we? The lake?
We went to a lake.
Swims for like 3 hours, and then only like 3 months later tells you, it's like, oh, I have no memory of this whatsoever.
During the COVID pandemic, the league grew stronger as a critical source of social interaction for its members. And under Staskiel's leadership, that strength blossomed into something even greater.
Yeah, it definitely brought people together. The league was a significant lifeline for me and for a lot of other people in the league. It was a constant way of communication with 10 to 12 other people at all times. And during that pandemic, that really isolating time, it was essential to our mental health.
It was life-saving during the pandemic. I had nothing. I didn't really care about anything, honestly, and fantasy football kept me in it. I remember having a very terrible team that pandemic year, and it drove me crazy, but I was invested every single minute and cared more than I'd ever cared.
And we talked a big game. Like we were like, when this is all over, we're gonna have a live draft every year, and we could have just been like, that could have all just been talk very easily. But Staskiel every year is like, I'm gonna look up Airbnbs. I'm gonna figure out the city. I'm gonna look up Airbnbs in each of these cities. I'm gonna put it to the people closest to me. We're gonna decide a city. I will personally put my name on the Airbnb every single year to make sure that this happens. I will make sure that it's done in some way where the dates and the location work for a large majority of people. That's not fucking easy. There's 14 people in this league, and there are people who aren't even in the league who come to our live draft because they think it's so awesome and so much fun. And that's like a testament. What other to whoever judges this commissioner contest and listens and knows that a lot of fantasy football players have wives and significant others who frown on what they do? How many other leagues would the wives or significant others be begging to come to the live draft because of how fun it is, or like want in on any aspect? Most people would be like, you go do that thing. That's fucking sounds terrible to me. You have fun with that. But in our league, it's like a destination. It's like a see and be seen. It's like you want to, and it's only getting better. And Staskiel is the sole. If Staskiel didn't do it, nobody else would have.
One critical task at Live Draft is determination of the rules for the season, and these are no ordinary rules. The league leaves our scoring system up to fate, using dice and a roulette wheel to roll for position limits, PPR bonuses, touchdown and yardage values, and literally every other setting available in the Sleeper app. Additionally, we roll for several wildcard rules for the new season, which run from small and silly to massively impactful on the season's gameplay. Players propose hundreds of rules throughout the year, and at the annual Constitutional Convention, a few months before Live Draft, we select the 36 best proposed rules to populate our roulette wheel.
Well, it's a years-long process of God speaking to us on Mount Sinai, where we are handed down these rules, and they go through several visions and revisions as we have more prophetic sight and things that we need to see. It's rewarded swift thinking and really, really brazen collusion and nastiness, which I think is what we all really crave in fantasy football. So in that way, it's a great success, I think.
Dude, the thing about Staskiel is like you have to to be a good commissioner, yeah, obviously you have to do all the regular commissioner stuff. But the best thing about Staskiel, the thing that makes him a great commissioner is the fact that he has all of these rules, 400 plus rules that he has to account for and find an answer for. And I can't imagine
the rules associated with the live draft, the randomness of the league and the rules. That's one of my favorite things about it, to be honest.
So part of the year-long participation now is that we all talk about potential new rules and whether or not they'd be ridiculous or whether or not they'd be, fine. None of them are fine. They're all crazy. It adds a layer to all the madness and all the craziness and all the cigarette smoking and just pacing up and down the backyard of whatever B&B we're at.
Yeah, live draft's great. It's nice that there's no researching while you're doing it. You just have a list of players. You just have to, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, the energy in the room is really infectious. People are running around, trying to make decisions, trying to finagle deals with each other. And then once the actual like live drafting is done, it's mostly just play. Like it's really a time where you can kind of forget about, other concerns in life, and you're really just kind of put in this like state of like childhood almost joy of like playing with, it's almost like playing with your friends like in your backyard or like in the neighborhood, where like you really just think about like have like laughing so hard together, playing games together.
And like the best part is he like schedules field trips, and it's wild. These aren't like just like little tiny field trips, bro. We're going lake trips. We had this like really nice like dinner. What else? What other field trips have we done? I mean, this was Nashville. Like we just wandered around the city. We went to some karaoke bars. That's a little like I would call that like a little moderate field trip because it didn't require like a ton of planning other than getting all 15 of us to go. But the lake trip is wild. We went tubing the year before, rented a bus, and like took us through.
Another of Staskiel's participation innovations is the playoff lottery. Each year, the final playoff spot is determined by a lottery in which each team that didn't otherwise qualify for the playoffs gets one lottery ball per regular season win.
I mean, he went and got like a bingo ball roller just to decide how our playoffs were going to be determined. I don't know. That takes dedication.
Yeah, the lottery. So last year, I last year was brutal because we had only 4 playoff spots. I came in 4th, which is like a great finish. And then that spot gets stripped away from me and lotteried off. So that was brutal from a personal perspective. And I should have every reason to hate the lottery because of that, but I don't. I love the lottery. It's so good. It keeps everyone, like you said, participating because it's based on how many games you win. So even if you're 2 wins into the seat, 2 wins it like week 10, week 11, getting that 3rd win, getting that 4th win increases your lottery odds, increases your chance of the playoffs still. And so as you go along, you never really feel like the season is lost. Matter to keep your roster going and keep players churning through, keep checking the waiver wire, keep making trades, and keep improving your roster because you could lottery into the playoffs and get lucky and win the whole thing.
Well, y'all are in the playoffs. You are in the.
We did win the lottery by the grace of God and the commissioner. This lottery system really spices things up for the playoffs in a way that I have never seen in any other league that I've been a part of. Really makes it unique and engaging experience, I think, for everybody in the league.
Yet another participation innovation arrived this very year in the form of the live auction waiver system, a wild card rule drafted by Staskiel himself. Every Tuesday, instead of submitting fab bids through Sleeper, we meet on a video call for a live auction.
Isaac Garindo, running back. Opening bid $69. Would anyone like to place a bid?
The minimum bid, 69. Someone's got to start.
Okay. 69 for K Graves.
Who's this guy?
111.
111 from Moritz.
115.
115 from K Graves.
Oh, that's what.
Oh. 115 final bid.
I'll do however much I have left.
Okay. I was up 163 from Kevin.
That's fun.
164.
164 from K Graves. There we go. That's how you do it.
Put a little money in the pot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think I think that's it for everyone here since Jetty's not here with his 351. So I will start counting down. 164 for K Graves for Isaac Rindo, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and then 1. Sold to Caitlin Graves, Isaac Rindo.
It isn't just great ideas that make Staskiel the greatest commissioner. It's his talent for diplomacy that holds together this league of very competitive people and sometimes difficult personalities.
Perhaps greatest commissioner of all time, wrangling this ginormous league of very strong personalities and strong opinions and a flair for dramatics. This man has given it his all, navigated everyone's angst and anger with aplomb and compassion.
Well, it is a league full of people already trying to beat everybody else at the thing that brings them together. It's already a competitive atmosphere, but it's also brought together a lot of the biggest personalities in our lives that like all the people that we've met throughout our lives are in this league, and big personalities in myriad and various ways.
Definitely the greatest commissioner. Our league throws a lot of curveballs and complaints his way, and he just takes it in stride and deals with it. Even when they're just so outlandish and like out of left field that frankly it's ridiculous and he shouldn't have to deal with some of these. It's quite a collection of personalities in this league to be managed. And we're a 14-team league, so it's like bigger than average. Just a lot of egos clashing, and I'm sure that's every league, but our league, just like the level of ridiculous in our league gets really high, and he's always taken it in stride and dealt with it, and just been great for over a decade now. So he's fantastic.
Yeah, I will never forget when I kicked that door in at live draft, and he brought me in there and he pointed at it and he's like, we can't be doing this. We need to fix this. And that's what I love about him. He's never putting it on one person. It's all for one, all together. We need to fix this. We can't be doing this. We're a team. He brings us together, and there's not a single week where there isn't some petty bullshit argument that goes way too far, and somehow we haven't lost it yet. He's kept us together.
When Moritz kicked down that door, when he kicked that hole in that door, you know what was on the other side? History. Friendship.
He kicked open the door to freedom.
That's right.
Freedom of thought. And the second that Moritz kicked a hole in that door, things changed. Like, we had to have more. You know what I mean? Like, that was the sign. Like, nobody was sure about live draft until that moment. The second that hole on the door formed, it was over. Live draft was in the books, like you have to keep following that up. So I don't know. I think live draft has evolved, obviously, to be, a bigger and bigger thing each year. But like all good shows, like you have to keep coming back because things keep escalating, It's like you got to see like what crazy stunt is going to happen next.
As with all great civilizations, years of Staskiel-driven stability in the league have given rise to noble works of art and inspiration.
Really, like, gives everybody an opportunity to like shine with their talents in it. So you've got Chance, who loves making games, rule mastering everything. You've got Kevy drawing everything. You've got Wilson making incredible memes. You've got Shree giving his just crazily his analytics, I guess is like the best way to say it. And it's just a way for us all to stay together. And I mean, really, it's just all like kind of circling around Staskiel.
All right. Welcome back to the IXP Fantasy Football Cast, brought to you by the Greenskeeper. And today we have another repeat winner. It's Andrew back in the hot seat. He's coming to us fresh from what is hopefully going to be a Spurs victory, so I don't want to take too much of his time experiencing sports in the real life to talk about sports in the fake life. But there's nothing more real than the fantasy implications going on in our league right now.
Of course.
Andrew, the floor is yours. What do you have for us?
Oh, thank you. It's very exciting that we're in the spooky season. We're about a week away from Halloween, so I'm gonna rank the teams as some of the greatest monsters the world has ever known. We're talking U.S. presidents today.
Excellent.
I always considered it just a way to reward engagement and to keep people listening. I think it's always a treat to hear your own voice over a podcast like that, which is why I try to introduce them and let them talk, because you're not coming to listen to me every week. You're coming to hear one of your friends tell you about how bad you are.
We're on to number two. Debo and the Doublers, and this could only be
Mm-hmm.
one of the greatest presidents in history, William Howard Taft. Our
Of course.
greatest doubler was a president and a Supreme Court judge, and Taft understood that your presidential term, you get through it and you survive, and it's all about the post-presidential playoffs. And that's what Debo and the Doublers have been about for years and years. They've been about the playoffs and winning championships and getting that lifetime Supreme Court nomination.
And really, it's just because, when you have an ability like drawing in paint with a trackball, it's a shame it's a very niche skill set. And so when you get the chance to use it and like really let it shine, it's like you have to let it out,
Even as he does so much work for the league, Staskiel also does so much work in the league, where he constantly stirs the pot with greasy trade propositions.
But somehow he's like walked this delicate balance where he gets to be the disciplinarian while also being the biggest piece of shit amongst us.
Yes, he's always got a meatball for you in the trading room. I've gotten to the point where I tend to not trust the trades from him at all, just like at face value.
I just know that he's too greasy to pour down a sink. You're gonna get in trouble with your landlord if you do that.
He is literally like the only person that offers you trades and tells you why it's good for you. No one else will even go. I mean, half the time it's bullshit for sure, but he at least attempts to come up with a reason why it would be good for you. He's thinking about the thing 360 degrees.
Yeah, he's like that really sleazy guy at the club, just like goes up, asks, shoots a shot, gets the shit thrown in his face, and then just goes right over to the next girl.
He trades as though if he doesn't do a number of transactions fast enough per week, that his entire team is going to explode. And he argues with you in ways that are just payday loan-esque on the front end, if you know what I mean.
Give Staskiel this award.
No, what I'll just say is, like, for me personally, especially in the last couple of years, tensions in the league run high, and those tensions sometimes got to me on a personal level. And Staskiel has had, I think, a dad moment with every single person in this league at one point or another, where he sat you down and really got to the heart of your feelings and made you realize that this isn't like, just any other fantasy football league. This isn't something you just pick up or put down willy-nilly. This is family, and you don't just walk out on family. And I think without Staskiel's steady hand and kindness and papa-ness, there might have been a chance that I walked out on it, and that would have been a huge mistake. And so, Papa Staskiel, you're the best commissioner on the freaking planet. Even if you don't win this contest, you'll be the best commissioner in my heart, in my personal record book.
The beauty of Alex Staskiel as a commissioner is that he is somebody to everybody in this league. He can be a shoulder to cry on. He can be the person carrying the pack of cigarettes for you whenever you need it the most during live draft. He can be the source of endless fun and dancing and beer pong excitement. So that's the beauty of Alex Staskiel as our commissioner, is that he's the best, he's the greatest commissioner, and he's the greatest commissioner for each and every one of us.
I mean, please just keep doing what you're doing.
Never stop.
Like, there is no way this league will keep going if Alex Staskiel stops putting in less work than he does to make everything work. Like, it will fall apart at the seams.
I think as much as he loves this league, and we all see how much he loves it, he loves each one of us so much individually. Like, you can see it in his eyes. Like, I've seen this man come to tears, like observing people having so much fun at live draft, and like he loves how much like chatter there is in the chat. Like, we talk to each other every single day. And I think that just like that, it really comes from a place of love. And I think that's what inspires a lot of other people to like continue participating and like being a part of like the league, and like show it. Like, I know I love to hang out in the chat and talk with him, and seeing him at live draft this year, the first one we were able to attend, he was just like so stoked, and I was like so touched. So it's he's our guy.